So this case study begins with a page post that I made promoting a new product in my store on the 2nd of June, okay? And today it is the 13th of September, okay? So I made the page post in exactly the same format that I lay out in the course. So we have the text that has a kind of call out to create some virality, okay? So call out to the market, and it poses questions to encourage comments. And we have a nice big image of the shirt itself, and then we have the scarcity on the image itself, which is only a few days left. And as you can see, this post has reached a lot of people, 602,000 according at least to this particular statistics, of which we have paid 450,000 and organic 150,000, okay? And as you can see, we've got a lot of likes and a lot of shares and a lot of comments as well, okay? So 86,000 likes and 31,000 shares, okay? So that was the original page post made on June the 2nd. And on June the 4th, so 2 days later, I made the first mail out to my customer list about this t-shirt, okay? It's a very simple email that I'll show you in a minute. And this is what happened. I had a 27% open rate. This was shown to 6,000 recipients at the time, of whom 36 placed an order, and it generated revenue of over $1,000, okay? And this was just over a period of a couple of days, so 12 p.m. to 12, yeah, over just a 2-day period from the 4th of June onwards, okay? And the email that I sent for this shirt was incredibly simple, and it looked like this. It simply said, our latest tee is just out in the store. We worked hard on the decoration for this one, and hopefully you'll agree it's worked out. As ever, we aim to create eye-catching designs to help start a conversation. And then we give a heads up about a discount sale running, and an image of the t-shirt and a link to the store. So it's a really, really simple email, and it generated over $1,000 in income, okay? So that was the initial part of the campaign, and this is how I run all of my campaigns for new products in the store. So I initiate them with a page post to Facebook, which I let run for a couple of days. I follow up with an email to my customer list, and then the third stage, I start up the paid traffic campaign on Facebook. So for the case of this t-shirt, and it was a learning point that I've taken away from in improving the way I do things, I launched 2 separate conversion optimized campaigns, okay? And at this time, I was still using the old conversion pixel before I'd switched over to the custom audience pixel. So you'll see everything tracked on the conversion pixel in my report, okay? So this first campaign was based on interest targeting, okay? So every single one of the ad sets that I set up within this campaign was an interest within my niche, okay? And I split everything down so that there was a single interest for a single ad set, and I set a bunch of them running, and over a period between when it starts on June the 3rd and when I finally cut off this campaign on July the 6th, I simply added new interests and I deleted ones that weren't working, and I kind of held the campaign open for as long as it was profitable, okay? And we can see what the results were here. So this was 2,323 spent, and the checkout conversion value was 10,327, okay? And my profit margins for sales for products like these in my store is roughly 50%, okay? So that 10,000 checkout value would have been about 5,000 in profit, okay? So spending 2,300 and bringing back roughly 5,000, okay? So it was a kind of double your money campaign, okay? But as you can see, this interest-related campaign died after a period of roughly a month, and in fact it was only wildly successful for a few days. So it was very successful for a few days at the start, but then very quickly it dropped, and then it kind of slowly petered away over the remaining 3 weeks, and it died after about a month, okay? So that's the first thing to note in this kind of interest-based campaign. And then the second thing is the CPMs I was getting. As we scroll down, we have $8 and $10 and $8 and 11, 6 and 7. There's a 5, which is about the lowest, but generally we're finding they're kind of 6, 7, 8 dollar CPMs. Okay, so that's the cost for putting my ad in front of 1,000 people. Okay, so let's go over and have a look at the second campaign that I ran simultaneously. This was the broad targeting campaign. Okay, and so all of the ad sets that I set up in this campaign are based on what I teach in the section 3 of the optimization scaling technique in the optimization funnel that I teach in the course. Okay, so all of the ad sets here are based on lookalike audiences built off visitors to my store, and I use lookalike audiences ranging from 1% all the way up to 10%. And then some of the ad sets I'm filtering down by introducing the broad interests. Okay, so there are 3 main broad interests that I target within my niche. So I have ad sets. I mean, the best performing ad set at the top was in fact the 10% lookalike audience, which is the largest of all the lookalike audiences available, and it was filtered down by using one of the broad interests within my niche. Okay. And as you can see, for a $512 ad spend, this one brought in 4,000 in checkouts, which is about 2,000 in profit. So this was a kind of 4 times money ad set running right here. Okay, and if we keep going down, we have this next one down, and this is the cost per checkout here. So this is what I was paying for a sale in the store. So paying $4 to make a sale in the store is great, because an average sale in my store is over $30 with 50% profit margin. So I'm usually making $15 ish on an average sale in my store when you include and take into account things like upsells. So to be making $4 on a front end ad, to be making an average of around 15 back is pretty good. And as you can see, I've got a lot of these going on in this ad set. And as we come down, I've got one here, an ad set which did 9,500 in conversions for only 1,000 spent, which is great. And that one here was the 5% lookalike audience, but narrowed down by a different one of the broad interests. So everything here falls into a very similar pattern, and it's exactly what I taught in the this stage 3 of the optimization funnel training. So it's using lookalike audiences and broad interests. Some of them I'm just using demographics like this. This one here is a lookalike audience, 5%, simply targeting men between the age of 52 and 60 on the desktop. Okay, so I've used the reports and I've picked out the demographics which seem to be performing well. So for this one, I'm not even including interests. This is just demographics and lookalike audiences. So that is the basis for a broad targeting campaign. Okay, some of them coming down to this one. This one is just the 1% lookalike audience with nothing else added whatsoever. And as you can see, it did really well. 368 spent, 2,200 in sales generated. Okay, but every one of the ad sets in my broad targeting campaign, without exception, falls into that category. It's lookalike audience between 1 and 10%, filtered down by broad interest or demographic. And as you can see, it had a lot longer longevity than the interest targeting campaign. Okay, so it took a few more days to really kick in. Okay, so it starts on June the 3rd, and it took a few more days to kick in, but then suddenly jumps. And then, especially because I added new interests in, or new ad sets rather, it jumped up within about a week, and then it performed very, very, very strongly for at least a period of a month and a half to 2 months. Okay, and then ever since then, it's been profitable, but not wildly profitable. And you know, as another takeaway for this, I probably could have put more effort in over the last month just to keep the whole thing going for a little bit longer. But as it is, you can see what's happened. It's now been running from June, July, August, September, so a period of over 3 months, and the results are pretty phenomenal. I've spent overall $7,696 to generate over $51,000 in conversions. Okay, which probably boils down to somewhere around $25,000 in profits in the store. Okay, so that's spending less than $8,000 to make a profit of over $25,000. So it's been a very, very profitable campaign for me. And the takeaway that I've learned mainly from this campaign, which I've put into my future campaigns, that I've put into the training that I've provided, is to keep everything firstly in the same campaign, okay? Because I believe that your campaigns get campaign level optimization. So make use of that by making sure that all of your ad sets promoting the same product are in the same campaign, so that Facebook can learn at that campaign level how to optimize your ads properly, okay? Secondly, I think I could have kept this going, more profitability for longer, if I'd kept cycling in new broad interests and killing the less performing ones, okay? I've just had a very busy couple of months, and my eye hasn't been on kind of maintaining this campaign as much as it should have been. So I think I should have been more vigilant in turning off the badly performing ad sets and starting new ones. So I believe I could have kept this going for a lot longer. However, it's been a very, very profitable campaign for me. And if we come over finally to the store, I've got this report set up where we can see finally, just in the store for this particular item, we've sold, going on for 1,700 units. And the gross sales are always a lot less than what you've actually made from your campaigns here, for a couple of reasons. One is that this does not include the shipping price on each of the items, okay, which is $5 for these t-shirts. So that would have added, as you can see, you know, a good 8,000 or 9,000 extra. And then it doesn't also include any of the upsells that are bought at the same time as these shirts. And then finally, one of the great things about having a store rather than simply advertising single items is that even though people will click through on your ad and come to your store, they won't always purchase the item that the ad was all about, okay? So the ads are kind of leaders into your website, if you were. So a lot of people will buy that particular product, but a lot of people also then shop around and buy a different product instead, okay? So like we can see from the Facebook reports, the conversion values that have come in from those ads are way in excess of just the simple gross sales on this particular shirt. But as you can see, it's been very successful. We've sold going on for 1,700, and we'll continue to sell these more. But that is the life cycle of a successful campaign in the store. And in the other case study, which I'm recording real time, it's a similar product to this particular one, but I'm recording real time and I'm using the new custom audience pixel, and I'll be showing you how that one plays out. Okay, so I will see you in the next case study.